Hi guys, welcome back to Grudy's Race and Resto. Happy. Problem solved. Down to 3,000 run out on the hub. So it looks as though it was actually the hubs that were... So the crank had a bend in it. 1,000 to one side is what we've got it down to. I'm leaving it there. I'm not going to go any further. So the spacer did bend the crank. Now... it's going back together. Let's have a squeeze. Watch this. This I'm happy about. See that? How good is that? No wobbly balancer. And it was really, really pronounced when it was running. You could actually watch it wobble. Okay. So what led us to this was... our offset, push the crank over, right? So we did have about 8,000 is where we're at. So we have worked out that all of these are different. And they're different in different spots. So I'm marking all the high spots. And that's what we're going to do. 1,000, 4,000, 1,000. This one should be 2, all right? And they're all in different spots on the balance on the hubs. So yes, so what we did was we cut this down. I then clocked up the end of the crank. It was 2,000 out. I'm happy. All right, that's what the short was earlier. We have gone through the hubs, and I put the straightest one I could on there, and it comes up around... oh, look at that. That one's got a bit of a back cut in it. All right. Comes up around 3. So, happy. It's going back together. Next thing that we've got to do... I'll go back and I'll explain. So, I had envisioned that the crank was a bit softer than the 4140 spacer. So, we're thinking the 4140 is very, very hard. They have to be perfect, otherwise you'll deform crank. Now, after cutting the hub, I have come to the realisation that the hub is actually very soft and doesn't spark, doesn't do anything. It seems to be cast iron. Right. Cast iron with hardening, like a case hardening. And when you cut it, you can actually see a little bit on the edge. Hold on. Right. So when I cut it, the pin... I didn't pull it out, I just cut it off, was actually the hardest part. Now, right on the edge, I buffed it up with a bloody wire wheel. Right on the edge, there was a little bit of discolouring. So you could see that it had a little bit of a hard casing. So I don't know. Could just be cast iron. But yeah. So, this is super soft. The crank is tough-tried or hardened or whatever they do after they forge it, but it is still 1020, 1040, something similar. So it's not a chromo crank. So if you're making spacers, make sure they're right. You can get away with probably about 0.5 to 1,000 would be your limitations. Right, this one is 0.25 of a mil. So this one's 10,000 high at that drilling. So if I have a bent crank, I'll actually use this to pull it around. Yeah. Keep all your tools that you make. So last night, we clocked this up at 0. So that's straight. We're now happy with that one. So hopefully this is start to more good news, and I can just, hopefully the other 3 that are all in engines running aren't so bad. We'll allow up to about 5,000. Now this 2.7 over here, a little bit of wear in the bearings, a little bit of wear here, a little bit of wear there. You would expect maybe 2,000 or 3,000. Right, it's up to 7. So obviously that hub, that can go on the shelf, and I'll put a closer one. Once I put the 2.8 crank in that, I'll put one that'll be closer to the 2 or 3. So I think from now on, due to the fact that the hubs are all a little bit out, what a fuck up. Right, so the crank's still bent, 1,000 or 2,000. So it's 1,000 one way. So we'll call it 0.5 to 1,000 once I've done it up. So we're talking 1,500 with the hub that's on there now. we're going to deal with it that way. And if anything, it'll have a tiny little bit of vibration, better than factory, and might flog out the front main bearing. That's about where we're at. So yeah, the car will go back together now. I'm going to put it on the hoist, pull the rust car. So the rust car comes down. That'll go over here. This car will go up on there. And I'm going to pull the Ford. Oh, hold on. Cover the mic. So this will come. This will go up on there. I'll pull the 420G out and I'll open it up, and we're going to preload the main shaft a little more because it's a little bit light on preload, and she chatters through all the rev range once it gets warm. So yeah, done. It pays to be anal. It pays to overanalyze, because all the people I know that don't overanalyze and that have the "she'll be right, mate" attitude, they wonder why their shit's not reliable and why they break shit and why they can't finish races all the time. If you want to race, if you want to have a tough street car, if you want a really nice car, you have to be anal. You can't have the "she'll be right, mate." You can't have the "I'll chuck down another beer or two and whatever." No. I don't drink. I don't do anything other than play with cars. Don't smoke, none of that stuff. I did years ago, and I wouldn't drink and work on the car. If I had a beer, I wouldn't touch a car, because I learned at a young age, you start drinking, you start not giving a shit. Smoke weed, yeah, you get a bit complacent. Being complacent and not being Nazi anal, like really, really picky, is only ever going to produce problems in the end. I'm aiming for this car to run 12 months without any major maintenance once we're done. Hence why the gearbox is now coming out. I have to clearance rear shocks for the rubbers on the CV shafts, and I think I have to space the diff down a tad more so it doesn't bang on the subframe. We're done. Pretty sure we're done. But yeah, positive, good, sweet as. Hopefully we can have the box back in by the end of the weekend, and when it starts to cool down early next week, we'll do some drive videos, and once we get a dyno slot, throw it on the dyno and we'll whale on it, get the AFRs right, and see if it can't make the 220 kilowatts that we've predicted for rear wheel, which equates to about 350 flywheel. Thanks, guys. There'll be some driving videos coming very soon. Yeah, have a lovely day.